my name is Monica Cotton, and I'm a photography teacher in the greater Detroit area at a high school. And I'm going to show you today how to use Photoshop. And in Photoshop, I'm going to show you how to cut out an object, refine the edge, and place it within a scene. I'm also going to show you how to create a reflection. So here we go. So what we're going to do is I have two images open, as you can see here. And I can flip back and forth between the images. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the quick selection tool today. And that is right here. I'm going to grab the quick selection tool and I'm going to select the turtle here. I like to use my key commands, which are the brackets on the keyboard, to make my brush smaller or larger. But you can always use the brush size indicator up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag out and try to select this turtle as best as I can. So I'm just clicking and dragging the mouse to select these areas. And I'll probably make my mouse a little bit smaller for some of these more detailed areas. And I'll try to do as good a job as I can. I know his foot kind of blurs out in the background. So we'll just kind of zoom in here. Use Control+ to zoom in on my keyboard. Just some of those easy key commands. So his little claws, I'm going to go a little bit smaller and see if I can grab those. And then if I over select, like in this area here, I can hold down Alt and then push the selection back in. So I'm trying to roughly get a good selection. If it's not perfect, that's okay, because his little paw might be underneath the water anyway. Okay, so I'm going to over select here just to grab the tips of his claws. And then I'm just going to push it back in and hold Alt here. Now you could also select him using the magnetic lasso tool, which is up here, and that would cling to the edge of him. But the quick selection tool works best for me. Just going to fix this up. Okay, and then his back leg here is probably going to be under the water, so it won't matter much, but I'll grab that there. Okay. So I think that's a fairly good selection. Just bump this back in a little. It's a little bit off. So once you have it selected fairly well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the selection and I'm going to refine the edge. So this is going to show me what the cutout looks like against a white background. I can also choose some different backgrounds if there's more contrast in the black. You can choose him on a black background, or you can just see his edge. So you can kind of choose between this. I think white works well here. So the thing that I love in the refine edge is the radius tool. So if you slide the radius tool, you can kind of see how the edge starts to blend with the background. And if there's an area where the computer didn't kind of find the edge of the object very well, you can always go in with this little radius tool, this little paintbrush, and kind of paint some areas back in and kind of smooth those out. And it looks pretty stark, and you can see the little mistakes against this white background, but once you add it into another scene, it should blend pretty well. We just don't want any jagged, rough edges. So I think that looks pretty good. If you want, you could always feather it a little to blend it, but I don't want him to be too soft. And you can also shift the edge and make him a little wider, a little narrower. He's good right there. Okay, I'll hit OK. So now he's selected. It goes back to the original scene, but it does have that refined edge. So I'm going to just copy him and paste him onto the other scene. So I can do that by going Control-C, or I can go up to Edit and copy from up there. I'm just going to click onto the next scene, and I'm going to Control-V, or paste him onto the scene, or you can also go to Edit and Paste. Alright, so the next step is I'm going to transform him to make him smaller so that he fits into the water. So to do that, I'm going to use my key commands, and I'm going to use Control-T to do that. So Control-T will put this little box around him so that I can click and scale him down in size. I can also rotate him by using Control-T, and if I hold Shift while I scale him down, he'll stay right in proportion and he won't get stretched out. So we're going to make him really large just so we can see him. So a turtle wouldn't be this large in nature, obviously. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Enter. So it places him within the scene. And if you look in our Layers panel, here off to the side, you can see he's on his own layer. So whenever we're trying to manipulate the turtle, we have to be on that layer and not the background layer of the bridge in the water. So the bridge is in the background and the turtle's on the foreground. So now we want him to look like he is in the water and not just floating above it. So to do that, I like to use the eraser tool to kind of erase his lower half and kind of look like he's sinking in the water. So I'm going to grab the eraser tool. Right now it's at a 250 diameter brush. I'm going to make that a little larger. And I'm going to put it on the opacity of the brush down to like 30%. So by doing that, I can kind of start to erase his bottom half. And it kind of makes it look like he is submerged in the water. So I'm just kind of using my best artistic eye to just kind of see what I think looks most natural. So I can still see a little bit of a shadow of him, which I think is good. So now he looks like he's kind of sinking in the water, but now we're going to create a little reflection of him. So to do that, I'm going to copy and paste him again. And I just have to make sure he's selected. So for this, I'm going to use the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to select him. And he's the only thing on the layer, so it doesn't matter that he's not perfectly selected. As long as he's fully selected with whatever selection tool you choose, that's fine. So I'm going to copy him, Control-C, and paste him again. So now he's copied right over himself again. And I'm going to use my Control-T to transform him. And I'm just going to rotate him and reflect him in the water. So I'm just going to kind of scale him down a little bit. So now he's got a little reflection. And obviously his reflection would probably be a little more transparent. So I'm going to hit Enter. And he's the only thing on now. There's the layer 2 here, is his reflection. And I'm going to bring down the opacity of the layer so that he is kind of more faintly reflecting in the water there. And then one final thing that I do to reflections in the water is that I sometimes, if there's some rippling in the water, I'll add some rippling to the reflection. And to do that, I'll make sure that I'm on the reflection layer. I'll go up to Filter and to Liquify. And the Liquify tool will just kind of blur and smear little parts of the image. So I'm just going to take this and kind of blur it and smear it. If it's too much, you can always go back and undo it. Hit OK. You can kind of see he gets a little bit blurry and moves with the water a little bit. Okay, well that is my demo on adding an object into another scene and creating a reflection. Thank you very much.